Okay, so recently I saw this video on 78 Sports TV's page. Him and Blood were pretty much having a hangout, and they were talking about mainly Errol Spence Jr. and the welterweight division. I actually think that might be part of the title, Errol Spence Jr. versus the welterweight division or something like that. I saw it like yesterday. I was on my way to the gym and I just kind of heard it. But basically, I uh, I enjoyed it. I agree with a lot of the things that they were saying, but there's one thing in particular that Blood Boxing said that I found very funny, and that's what inspired me to make this video. Blood Boxing, uh, yeah. Before I continue, I want to say that Blood Boxing is a great YouTuber. He definitely has a lot of knowledge on the sport of boxing. He has far more knowledge than I do. I'm not even gonna pretend or act like I know more about boxing than Blood Boxing. I hope that people that are listening to this don't don't start thinking that he's attacking Blood Boxing or anything like that, because I love the guy. I'm actually subscribed to his channel, so just wanted to make that very clear. I'm not trying to offend anybody, but anyway, Blood Boxing said something that I found a little bit funny, and he said that Dan Garcia to him was someone that just has a good resume. Now, as of late, I found myself sort of gravitating towards Danny Garcia for the same reasons that I've been gravitating. I've always loved Floyd Mayweather, but what made me appreciate him more was the fact that people sort of discredit. People try to discredit the best qualities about him. The best quality about Danny Garcia is definitely his resume, but that should be like the greatest measuring stick on how to rate a fighter. Okay, like people. It's funny, like in boxing, it's so different than other sports. When we look at sports, when we look at Usain Bolt, we don't. It's like we don't say that he's the best runner because we've seen him run around the track. No, we say he's the best runner because he has the medals to prove it. He's won the Olympics 3 times. Okay, look at Michael Jordan. We don't say he's the best basketball player just because we've seen him, his athletic ability in the gym and how he can make all these 3 pointers and he can shoot from the full court. No, we say he's the best basketball player because he has the 6 rings to back that up. He has all the MVPs. He has the numbers and stats and stuff like that, and he has those credentials. When we look at Danny Garcia, even though we may not, even though his style might not be the most, it may not suggest that he has all the skills in the world and the athletic ability. He still has the resume. The resume should be the greatest measuring stick on how to rate how great an athlete is, in my opinion. And I just find it crazy that a lot of us seem to be discrediting him, and we don't really view him as one of those special fighters in the sport, even though he has that resume. Yeah, I actually think that resume might even be pound for pound worthy especially when you consider who's on the pound for pound list today, who's on a lot of your pound for pound list today. The guy, I respect Danny Garcia a lot, and is he on my pound for pound list? If I had one, no. And like I said, I kind of have the same mindset that Blood Boxing does. But it leads me to a question that I have for the whole LDBC, which is what win would Danny Garcia need in order for us to start looking at Danny Garcia as one of those special boxers? For me personally, all he'd have to do at this point is beat any of the top 5 welterweights. He's the man for me. If he were to beat Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Kell Brook, Earl Spence, even Manny Pacquiao, any of those 5 that I just mentioned, he's the man. And he's going to be on my if I had a pound for pound list, he would be on my pound for pound list, and he'd be very high. You don't just. I find it crazy that guys like Danny Garcia. He just reminds me of this guy that I knew that would always be in that wrestling gym and just be putting in that work. And eventually, even though he wasn't the most boisterous out of all of us, about the people that he beat, he actually ended up placing very high when the season was over, like very high in the states. And he actually beat some. I mean, he beat newbody. No, let me not go into my personal experiences, but Dan Garcia, that's what he reminds me of. Like, he reminds me of the hard worker. That doesn't necessarily. They'll always do they're doing what they're supposed to do, but they never get the credit that they deserve at the end. So let me know what you guys think. I actually might be, from this point forward, I might start rooting for him for every single fight that he's in, whether it's Keith Thurman, Kell Brook. Don't get me wrong, guys. I actually think he would get smashed by all 5 of those guys. I think he gets smashed. I love you, Dane, but I don't think. I think he can put up a very good fight against any of these individuals, but I think he'd get beat by a lot of them for different reasons. But if he were to beat at least one of those guys, he's the man for me. I'm not going to doubt him ever again. I'm not going to question his skill, and that's my opinion. So again, my question for the LDBC: who does Danny Garcia have to beat before you guys start looking at him as a special fighter? By special, I mean like start putting him on your pound for pound list, or if you had one, or just start looking at him as a very elite fighter, a creme de la creme kind of guy. All right, let me know what you guys think. I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.